I'll call order regular council meeting for the corporation and township of Brunel and Knock and Raglan. It's third day of December, 2025, at 7 p.m. On the roll call, Councilman Bass. Here. Councilman Cuffa. Here. Councilman Quad. Present. And Mary Ellen is absent. I'll do the land acknowledgements. As we gather this evening, I'd like to acknowledge on behalf of this council and community, the meeting of the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for the rich history. We're extremely grateful for the many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We have a resolution on adoption of the agenda. We, the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Brunel and Knock and Raglan, adopt the agenda as amended to include 2 items in closed session under subsection B, personal matters about an identifiable individual. Do I have a mover on that? Councilor Quad, seconder, Councilor Banks. Any questions from the council? Seeing none, all in favor? Yes. The motion's passed. Disorder of urinary interest from any councillor with the matters before us tonight? No. The mayor's absence, so there's no address. The clerk got anything to report? Nothing to report. We have 2 delegations tonight. Our first delegation request was from Marilyn Musgrove from the Vaudeville Community Center. She has some concerns, I guess she'd like to bring forward to council. So Marilyn, if you'd like, you can come to the chair.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, remember.
Get the right side. There you go.
Okay. First, we would like to revisit the plowing for the community center. I have a copy of our insurance policy. It would cover anybody on our property. Your vehicles would be covered under your own insurance, but we'd like to talk to somebody about getting it plowed.
Okay, so back on January 4th, 2023, I believe it was approximately a year to have the same request. At that time, our insurance had said, in short, it says that we would be taking on risks that the township likely does not want to take on. That's what our insurance has said. And that we should abide by the current contract that is in place. So, in other words, I know the answer from council at that time was no. If council has anything they'd like to add in regards to that. No. But I know it is a private parking lot, that's.
But it is public bathrooms and it's used by everybody, right?
But that's what our insurance is saying, so
I doubt the insurance position has changed on that.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, but like I said, our insurance would cover anybody on the property too, right?
Let's keep the insurance.
Yeah.
So we could, you have that in a copy of that. Review.
We can do that, we can contact our insurance and find out.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all we're asking.
No, we can do our due diligence there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess the other item was for the septic pumping,
Okay,
that we finally found the other 2 holes, so that there is like 2 double tanks on there. And when they came, we found that one, and now they've emptied them all and said everything is working fine.
okay.
But we had to get that one. We didn't know that there was 2 more holes, and we went looking for them, right? And when it was done in the spring, there was only 2 holes and it was full.
Yeah.
But when they emptied it this time, the other 2, it was packed. They said it was jam packed. It hadn't been emptied for years. So now that all 4 are emptied, they said we should be fine. But anyway, I submitted the bill and that's what we're looking for.
Did they do the percolation test on the septic to make sure that
I wasn't out there, the guys were there, so I'm not sure what all they did.
it was a percolation test, just to make sure that the meters are working good?
Yeah, like he said, it's totally empty now, everything, but that's what was going on, because the other one was full, we couldn't go anywhere else, right? And I know, according to the contract that we signed for the public bathrooms, it says on here that, there's that, the township shall at its expense engage and pay a septic contractor or hauler to pump out the septic tank at such intervals as are requested by QRAA and recommended by the building. It doesn't say once a year, it doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
It also says during the term, which nowhere in here can I find what the term is.
Term of the contract, this is like the total length you're talking.
Yeah, there's no date,
No start or end date.
there's no start or end date, I mean, it could be done tomorrow. We don't know. There is no term, no date, no, for 2 years or 5 years or nothing, so.
I kind of understood it was 10 years, and I don't know. That should have been put in there.
But nothing is in this, I read it, I think I read it 10 times trying to find it, so.
So this is.
But there is no date, time, nothing in there at all.
I mean, if you wanted to address.
So, when we discussed the septic pumping back in the April meeting of this year, I done some investigations with, the people who installed or connected to the septic back in 2019 when the bathrooms were installed.
Okay,
And at that point in time, they discontinued one of the tanks. So whether that tank was never emptied, but it was discontinued because QRAA did not want to put in a splitter pump to split the waste between the two tanks. The waste doesn't know where to go.
they never asked us.
That's what I was told by the installer at that time. The septic tank is always gonna be full if your reefing bed is working properly. Once it's overfull, then it backs up into your washroom. So a full tank is correct. You do want a full tank.
Mhm.
If it's backing up, then there's a problem with your filter bed,
Okay,
which was why the direction was given in April to have the filter bed inspected. So if you have 1 tank, 2 tanks, 10 tanks, if it's not getting away into your bed, it's gonna back up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many tanks are there.
like I said, and this, I was not saying that we would have the separator or anything, I've never heard any of that.
Yeah, that's what the contractor said when I spoke to him about the installation.
So there's no connection between the two tanks.
If there's a connection between the 2 tanks, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah.
When we looked at it, our heads in it, the tanks are situated opposite each other,
Mhm.
so it doesn't make sense for it to be connected. One was discontinued,
Yeah, but I mean, solids only go to one tank, but right?
one side of the
Yeah,
tank.
yeah.
So we're talking about 2 tanks that have 2 compartments.
So I mean, 2 separate tanks is what,
Yeah,
yeah,
I said there's 4 that,
4 lids.
there is 4 that.
Yeah,
That makes
each
two
tank
tanks.
is 2 tanks. Yeah, and each tank.
4 lids is 2
Yeah.
tanks.
Yeah.
But in the spring, when you came and looked, there was only the 2.
No,
No, talk to Jeff, I talked to Jeff, he said there's 2, because we just found the other 2. In
Either
July,
way, if the waste isn't getting away into the filter bed is fixed.
Yeah.
As per our CBO. So once that inspected in the spring.
like I said, not that I know, but this is the first I'm hearing about not. Doing that, splitting or anything else, when they put the contract in, I didn't hear any of that.
That's neither here nor there. With 1 tank, your usage of water is still adequate and in
Yeah.
compliance with the building code as per the CBO.
Okay.
So 1 tank is fine. The issue is if the waste is not getting away from that tank into the filter bed needs to be replaced. Which
Okay,
is why the direction was given in the spring to have that checked.
and that's a very expensive thing to have done. If they dig that up,
If it's failed. That's
if they dig that all up, then we have to put a new one in, right?
Yes.
And the only way to check it,
Months.
the only way to check it is to dig it up, is that
You
right?
can dig a test hole to find out if it's failed, through contractor, they can do that.
I don't know. Like I said, some of this, it's first I'm hearing of it, right? I don't know what all was done, but the guys were outside when they did it in the summer there. I don't know what all they did.
And after it was pumped in March, it was working fine after that,
Oh, yeah,
because it was pumped.
Yeah.
it was empty, all you did was refilled it, and now it's full, and it's not getting away, so you needed to pump it again. So when it's full, it's gonna need to be pumped again.
Okay, like I said, so what are you saying we have to do then?
You need to, in the spring, you were directed to get your media bench checked and see if it is failed.
Okay, cause I mentioned it, but
I don't know if that can be done now, that would be for a contractor, I don't know.
And as part of the agreement too, like right before it comes to pumping, it should be recommended by the CEO. So you should have contacted him to serve the agreement.
well, it just says that, and recommended by, but.
Yeah.
You know, I had to go and ask him, right?
It says and not over,
Yeah.
so it has to be.
Okay,
Also, the agreement, there is section 18. Ongoing arrangements, which I would assume everything that's really been here. You can return this December 31st, 2029.
all right.
Yeah.
2029?
December 31st.
Okay, like I said, maybe I didn't get that part because that's what it does, couldn't find it in here.
No, well, if you needed a copy of it, I'm sure you could copy the office.
Yes,
And
Oh, yeah.
share, yeah. If you're gonna be missing something,
yeah, cause I don't see it in here
yeah.
anyway. So I guess, so what you're saying is, yes, no, you're not paying for it or what do, okay. That's what we need to know. That's what we're asking tonight.
That's the songs.
What's the bill, sorry?
$450.
I think it was.
Have we paid for a pumping already this week? We paid for one in September, we paid for one in March, and this would be the next one.
So 450 each time?
The last one was a little bit more.
Oh, that's.
In the winter,
Yeah.
it was 25, but it was just for the one double tank, right?
Yeah.
Just for one tank.
So there's only been one this year then. Yeah,
Two.
Two.
so two already.
One in March and one in.
One, okay, so.
Oh, or this would be.
One in September of last year, one in March of this year, and now, whatever.
I mean, the other thing we can do is we can talk about and see if we can find somebody to come. And when they can come and check, to do like a test hole maybe and see if it's working. Like
I don't know when they can do that.
yeah, I would have to, I guess I would have to find somebody and see when they have to wait to do that, right? I don't know if they'd get in there now, actually. Right,
Ross shouldn't be an issue right now, yes. Should still be able to do it on the standard. Yeah, Ross shouldn't be a problem.
so we can, I guess we can call a couple places and see what they would charge to do that.
I think this spring I give you a list of different contractors.
Yeah. Yeah. I can call and ask what they would charge to do that. That, how much it would be to do a test hole to see, make sure it's working properly.
Just get that contractor that does do septics.
Yeah. Yeah,
So is this gonna be regular, like 3 pumpings a year?
we're hoping not, now that we've got this,
You're not fixed to that.
Then we need to get it checked.
yeah, we need
Yeah,
to.
percolation. Percolation test.
The reason we had it pumped in October is because we wanted to make sure that that was empty over the winter. And also, we figured out that when people are coming for bingo, they're parking on our weeping bed.
Yeah, see that.
So if they're parking on our weeping beds, they're gonna freeze it, and this is where your issues came in.
That's probably what happened.
So,
last
and
year.
that's what happened, I'm thinking that's what
Yeah.
happened last spring. And then when we did decide that, that's when the guys found the second tank, which had never been emptied. So we said, okay, we'll have it pumped in October and then that way we'll be good for the winter, and we've cordoned off where the weeping bed is to make sure that nobody's parking there. but the only reason we had it pumped in October is to be on the safe side. Not because we had to do it, not because there was issues,
Cause it was.
just to be
still
on the safe side.
Are you referring to the pumping last October? Like in twenty?
No, no, this past last Yeah,
But we also found the new tank.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, we also found the second tank.
No, but that's the new tank we found. The second. The
There's
second
only
one is
one
the-
tank that's hooked up to your bill.
Well, the new tank is the one that was plugged. Full.
When I spoke to Jerry Septic, who just pumped it for you, he said one tank was at 3/4 and the other one was at normal height.
Yeah,
Where it
well,
should,
that one was is the new tank. When you look at the tanks, one's very old and one's newer, a lot newer.
so the old one is probably the one that was discontinued.
Maybe, I don't
So
know.
like the new one is the one we just found in October. We just found it.
Is, yeah, my understanding
And
from what you're saying is the only one, when you guys did the addition or put the bathrooms in 2019, that's with the new tank. And there's only one connection because there was
Yeah.
no pumping station between the two tanks.
That's right.
So there's
So
only
we
one
pumped it
tank.
in March.
Yes.
That was the current tank we used, because we flushed toilets and walked to go in.
Yeah, yeah,
Literally.
you see the flow.
Yeah.
So we pumped the tank that was in use.
Yeah, they pump the one in that's actually operating.
Mhm.
So if I may,
Yeah.
I personally don't have an issue with paying the septic pumping bill. I mean, it is a public washroom. Yes, we did pay to put that in there. So I think it's up to us to actually pay it. But for the plowing part of it, I don't agree with that. We gotta set a precedence because there's a lot of other nonprofit organizations. If you're gonna start plowing one. We'll have to do the one.
Well, I think the insurance company would still lean towards us not doing that. We can have a look at it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get the same.
But no, yeah. And I do agree, we can't set a precedent, we follow one place and not the other. When it becomes public, yes.
So you're on the septic?
On the septic, I'd be okay with it as long as that percolation test is done as well. You gotta make sure that leaker's operating.
That's the resolution, regards to.
You're gonna get back to me with the insurance. It's probably gonna be the same answer.
I would
but I think
say
you
it's
can ask.
that you can ask, right, and then.
Yeah.
Let you know.
And the building inspector would have that drawings with new tanks, even when a new tank.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I would think so. We should be right on it.
Maybe we can get a copy of that. So we know exactly that we're in the right spot and doing what we're supposed to do.
Sure.
Yeah, I think there's usually some drawings of that stuff. I think I haven't, did it a long time. I think there used to be drawings.
Used to be, yeah.
Yeah, I used to be that.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't done it in a long time, so. I just remember what I used to do. You know, was sort of, new meters put in, they like too sure, it's just use the existing. It just use the tank, it's just a bigger tank, nobody, and that's why there's a new tank. Is it public washroom? They're probably, they're larger tanks, that's what I'm thinking, there's a new tank. It just looks not recent, right, the volume.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even bigger, maybe it's probably bigger than. One is.
One might know, sees things.
It's what you're there. Still long. The longest record, 2000 records. It was just because it's a public place, it's a play.
And it used to be a school too, right?
So you can, but the new stuff, like the new stuff when they did the addition, obviously, and we tested the people off your time.
This one.
Do you want that as well?
Yeah. And not to blind you.
It should go about it.
Trying to make it straight.
Okay, so following the delegation, we made this resolution. That council for the corporation of the township of Boone, Lynn, and Ryan, hereby direct staff to pay the septic pumping bill in $450. Invoice number 2022 Quad Recreation Athletic Association. And further, any further pumping must be followed with direction under 28 in the public washing contract. That's passed by bylaw 2019-32. Do I have a mover on that? Councilor Tonto, second by Councilor Quad. Any further questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote then. All in favor?
Yeah.
And that's carried. Okay, thanks, Ryan. So we have another delegation tonight, a delegation request by Kelly Cloud. And she's going to, for concern with us from Murray Road, so. Kelly, you want to chair?
Sure, it'll be a turn off ladies.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
All right, council, thank you for listening to us. Thank you, neighbors, for coming along with me. This is our concerns and observations regarding River Road. This is a formal complaint about things that have been handled by Public Works. For starters, you spelled my name wrong on the agenda. So along with the delegation, we submitted a petition with 45 signatures, including all the year-round residents and several others who use the road frequently. We all have the same opinions on this issue. Of these 45 signatures, we have residents with many years of experience in civic and municipal affairs. Some have extensive experience in road construction. 2 bus drivers signed and said River Road is in worse condition than any of the other gravel roads in the area. Additionally, one was stuck for over an hour, less than 1 kilometer from this township yard on November 11th. Some residents reported damage to their personal vehicles, and others shared concerns about moving delicate building materials and the possible damages that could have been incurred. One resident was even told there was no qualified grader operator, and another used the term disgrace regarding condition. Several people remarked how busy the road actually is, and some were even surprised as they are closer to the end and just kind of new to the neighborhood. I myself had over 70 guests for studio tour, and many of them commented on the condition as well. And Boundless didn't provide feedback, but with approximately 15 staff members in and out daily, plus their deliveries and other associated travelers, equal a lot of extra traffic. We miss speaking with the seasonal residents because they aren't around. And there's other increased traffic due to Amazon and other delivery, fuel trucks, construction, building materials, well drillers, Airbnbs, etc. So the road is busier than you think and should have been thoroughly graded weeks ago. That was another comment by another resident, and that was mid-November. So several residents recall being told the road would be complete by the summer of 25, one specifically by Mr. Genner, and that liberal calcium application and reasonable maintenance could be expected in the interim. So the hired calcium truck was of little to no value. It trickled in one way and left. And the township truck with the tank did a way better job. And at one point, Mr. Budrick even had to apply the calcium himself. Grading has been non-existent since June, except for the corner at Budrick's twice. Lower Rosenthal was graded the same day as one of these instances, despite poor condition along here. Seemed to ignore the rest of it and just do the corner for 50 meters. And it was found to meet minimum requirements as of October 31st. So when we see a township truck inspecting weekly and nothing improves regarding ruts, potholes, and washboard sections, we can assume these standards give you permission to do the bare minimum or less. Brushing and ditching and culvert replacement must have been postponed because 2 culverts need attention. The corner at Goodricks is also dangerously close to the edge. There's no shoulder. Someone did go over the edge but managed to recover, so that's just an accident waiting to happen. So Public Works received numerous telephone calls, in-person visits, and emails regarding condition. Nothing happened. People were told staff was off hunting, and the whole thing was basically ignored or met with a dismissive attitude. The operations manager suggested forwarding our complaints instead of talking amongst ourselves. He didn't seem to appreciate any of the feedback. He reminded us of Public Works duties, told us where our tax dollars went, because none of us understand that. Suggested a massive tax increase could fix things, but they're gonna go up anyways, because that's just the way it goes. And used Trout Lake Road as a comparison. It may have been the same duration of construction period, but 38 landowners versus 8 is a huge difference on all factors. Resurfacing treatments regarding Burnt Bridge and Jewelville roads are common every 5 to 6 years. Well, that hasn't happened on River Road in 20 years, except for the 300-meter section midpoint. And that stuff's pretty good, so you might wanna consider that when we do get it finished, because it's pretty much indestructible. And another comment was made, if you ran out of money, just tell us. There was we were gonna do it this week, the second week in November, but it snowed. So a man was said to fill 4 holes with a shovel on November 12th, and none near the stop sign where the worst of the holes were. The November 18th work was considered too little too late by many, but I guess we'll just take what we can get. Back dragging with a snowplow was a sad sight. So I guess it'll be ice-filled holes leveled out with a snowplow for now. Perhaps some extra sand this winter because it doesn't get pretty shined up after 3 or 4 days. And for Mr. Genrick to suggest the road is in better condition now than before it was ripped up is an insult. We all know what your duties are and we know how our tax dollars are spent, so we'd like to see something for it. Seems there are many complaints across the entire municipality with the same level of response or lack thereof. So yes, completion is greatly anticipated. We're all quite frustrated how this has panned out. So I spent approximately 6 hours on this, walking the road, collecting signatures, talking with my neighbors, and writing this all out. It would have taken maybe 2 hours to grade the road this fall. Probably around 20 man-hours went into the November 18th partial repair. And I also read an article somewhere that the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund increase for 2026 will see BLR receive approximately $135,000 for services. So that's something that's interesting. So in closing, thank you, council, for listening to our concerns. We all feel this has been inadequate with a lack of clear communication, transparency, and consideration on behalf of Public Works. Me, my neighbors, and friends on River Road, thank you for listening.
Any other concerns?
Yes, if you can stand. Sorry for spelling them well.
Me, I apologize.
So I guess, council is hearing your concerns and we have your concerns too. Yeah, no. I just want to say in regards to the OMPF fund, we do receive somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000.
Yeah, but it was the increase that I read about.
Yeah, and that'll be on top of that.
So,
Sorry.
it's just under 800 this year.
Yeah.
2026 was 600.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we get that much, but the OPP takes back.
Yeah, we haven't borrowed it.
Yeah, and it's somewhere getting close to 400,000, but that's besides the point. So yeah, we do budget X amount of dollars every year for roads. So last year we had different roads, those are complete now. And I'm sure in 2026, I'm not sure of the schedule, I know budget is coming up soon to plan. Are there plans in the budget for 2026 for River Road, Jordan?
Yes, we approximately 500,000 planned to work for renewable projects.
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
so just a minute, please. So does that include completion of the road?
Completion.
Okay, did you have it?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. Do you have any plans for that road this year coming up at all?
Yes, next in
And
twenty
that's
26.
what they are.
So it will be, I assume, the finishing of the culvert stitching.
Ditching, culvert replacement, topping of gravel where needed, fine grade, and then,
What about clearing the trees back?
yes, there'll be some brushing done too.
Because I've seen multiple, hey, Ronnie's pushed them off the road himself with his fucking, sorry, with his loader lots of times.
Yeah.
Like himself.
Yeah.
Not you guys doing that. But he's done it lots of times. I've seen him do it.
There's plans to.
George, when you finish, gonna be pavement,
It's going to be pavement, yes.
and will it go right to the end of the road?
I'm planning for that, yes.
Okay,
And will that amount of budget cover all that work?
I'm hoping it will, but, 2026 pricing isn't out yet, but we're hoping it will.
Any chance of taking some off that corner at my place?
I want to explore that option, Ronnie. I did look into, I know in the past, it was started with grants about purchasing some land. And it came to a stop and that's as far as it went.
But that, I know that time it was going way back, they were
Yeah.
gonna take probably 3 or 4 acres.
Yeah.
If that hydro pole could be moved at least 15 feet closer, like into the bush farther, that would make an awful difference taking that corner off and then make the culvert wide. But it wouldn't need it any wider, but they could move the culvert down.
There are plans to look at that corner and I'm actually considering bringing another contractor in to take care of the work for that one, so. Could have plans for that, so.
If
Then
you
we
have-
are talk, and we are going to. Coat over the middle piece that's there as well, so it will be all hard top from one end to the other.
Now, when you say hard top, we're getting good paving.
Paved, charred, hot mix paved.
We're finding that doing it that way, we actually save money in the long run because
That 300 meter stretch was put down approximately 12 years ago and it hasn't needed any sort of work
yeah,
whatsoever. The culvert,
The edges are starting to pull off, but for the most part, yeah, that's held up with.
yeah.
the culvert has said,
River Bend Road has been held up beautifully, so.
Yeah, it needs ditching and the tree line going back.
No, I had plans actually this summer to start some of the ditching and get some brushing down there, but we've had issues with the, you know. That put some setbacks on our other construction projects.
Yeah.
It didn't allow us to get there, so I'm hoping that we can. Get there in between snowfalls this winter, to do some brushing and get that much started.
It'll be about that much safer for you guys with the.
It's safer for everybody.
That's correct.
It's gonna let more daylight in onto the road, there's all the road.
Yeah.
And everything else, and more sight lines and everything else. No, it needs to be done, it will be done.
Yeah, it's only like, what is it, Ronnie, 4 kilometers into the end? I don't even think it's that.
And the-
3 kilometers into the end. It's not that big of a stretch of the road.
No. Similar size project to what we have completed in the last 2 or 3 years. We average.
And then it's not that far.
2 to 3 kilometers of area.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, you're across the river here. That's as far as you gotta go with equipment. You know?
so that was the disappointing.
And actually, what I get upset about is you hire outside equipment to come and do this stuff. And there's local equipment that can do those jobs. There is.
We actually have most of the equipment now to be able to do jobs ourselves.
Yeah.
To save from hiring it.
But you
And save
yourself,
some
there's
cost.
local guys.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But it all has to go through a fair
Okay,
tendering process.
somebody come on a bulldozer like nobody.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay then, so everybody's happy with what they heard, we're gonna get some work done and.
Something to look forward to
Yes.
until the spring thaw when it turns to soup.
No, I know, and then, you know what, I'm gonna use my road for an example. If you would've drove that thing, so my road finally got fixed, done, it's been 11 years since the whole section, finally got done last summer. And it's worth the wait, I'll tell you that rate, so.
Yeah, then we won't be in here discussing this anymore.
Well, we fully expect the ratepayer to come and voice their opinion, and we.
That'll be a highlight of 2026, that'll
Yeah.
be for sure.
The next thing, when you complaints about being held up and.
When
Probably be mad about the stop sign.
There you go.
Like,
You're welcome to come home.
We wouldn't have worried about it if, when you did tear it up, we were told we're gonna have the pavement at that forward the next year, and 2 years later, it would have been better to leave the original pavement.
Yeah.
In some cases, yes, but the way that it deteriorated. At Kelly's, we were fearful that was going to continue, and we had the pulverizer in the area at the time anyway. So we opened it all up. That was the plan behind that.
Well, that just shows how many heavy vehicles are moving in and out of there, and I think a lot of it was taken for granted.
You're dead.
There's no question on the amount of traffic in there. It's businesses and the number of.
Amazon is the big traffic flow, and we don't realize that.
And big trucks. Countless, like, all cars and cars going, look at that.
The big trucks, the system
Well,
trucks.
they're not delivery trucks,
Yeah.
but they're fast, yeah.
You're on that.
Your trucks.
Them and they're going,
They might move, they don't spare the time for it.
In one way, they do slow down there, to get straighter.
Yeah, they might be, they might be in trouble.
And that's why Wayne Marquette isn't here, because him with them well trucks there. He's in and out of there all the time with that, and they're heavy.
Okay, so if we're done then, I guess council has a little more business to do tonight, so. Thanks for your time, and
Thanks, Kelly, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, where.
They did a good job. Now they're a lot better now, what they're now.
Lipstick on a page. You might be in trouble by still. Fair warning, up. I have a complaint.
yeah.
I've been looking, which is kind of.
I haven't been around moving here because it's like some, yeah, people a lot, you would have done more stuff, because people are, that's like, they blow it. But yeah, but Ronnie, we're still in a meeting, thanks, you're good. Yeah, good.
Thanks, brother.
Mate, for you. I thought. We get you to get the projector, Kevin?
Yep.
No?
Well, put the standing, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, so we have a resolution before us that we, the council for the corporation of the town of Brunel and Dock Ryan, hereby adopt the minutes of the regular council meeting November 5th. 2025, I presented, I need a mover on that, that's what Claude, Councilor Max, any questions, errors, omissions on the minutes?
Not that I see.
Looks good, call for the vote, all in favor?
Yes.
That is carried. We have some staff reports and there's some holiday hours. I believe there's a resolution. The council for the corporation of Township Brunel, Lindop and Raglan hereby authorize the closure of the township office from December 24th, 2025 to January 2nd, 2026. And further, that staff will use 4 days of vacation and 1 day will be given the council. And further, that the waste sites will be closed at noon on December 24th to December 26th. And closed at noon on December 31st and reopen on January 2nd. I need a mover on that. Councilor Banks, the seconder, Councilor Claude, and I know we have your staff report.
There, this is what we've done previous other years, council always gave 1 day, staff made up the rest of the days off with their own holidays. And I provided a chart at the bottom there, just so you can visual of what would be open and closed when if you approve.
So up here you have reopened on January 2nd. And then when you look down, you request the office be closed on January.
Closed on the 23rd.
Yeah, reopen on the second, right?
No. Oh, the waste sites are reopening on the
Wednesday.
No, waste sites usually.
Oh, okay.
I see that.
Yep. we said something, yeah.
Everybody goes back to work on the 2nd.
Yeah.
Normally, yes, but it's a Friday and that's.
Yeah, it's a Friday for everyone. Just saying.
Council's position then? Okay with the recommendation?
I'll be here most of these days.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the road staff is the phone. So.
I'm alright.
Everything.
Yeah,
I said my.
Elaine,
Yeah, I guess.
yes, you're okay? Okay, if that's the case, then I'll call for the vote on resolution. In favor?
Okay.
And that's carried. We're down to correspondence. The lead council for the corporation of Township of Brunel and Dr. Agron hereby accept the correspondence as circulated. I need a mover. Councilor Quad, seconder. Seconder, Councilor Banks. Any of the correspondence that council wishes to have removed for consideration at the next meeting?
The one was how to remove all HST and,
Yeah, 10-1.
yeah, I think so.
Yes, I think that's 10-1, then,
Yeah,
that's great.
to remove HST and GST from new housing. I think we should support that.
10-2 is also good. Solve the crisis in winter homelessness program.
Okay.
And affordable renting is important, but homelessness as well, right?
For sure.
That's right.
Any other correspondence?
Well, I think 10-7 is just an immediate release.
That's immediate.
Yeah,
I like
which is
it.
good.
It's
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, they're launching the new.
Yeah.
So especially when it's close, it's in front of,
Mhm.
for the local people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other correspondence then? So we can back in correspondence then. So the mover and the seconder, Kevin Lee, you're okay with adding 10-1 and 10-2?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that added then, I'll ask for the vote on the resolution then, all in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried. With under new business, item 11-1, council discussion RE holiday bonus for staff and additional resolution with that, I'm sure someone has some information or.
So last year, council had agreed to, instead of a monetary bonus for staff, to purchase coats, township coats for everybody. That was I think they were to $65.
Yeah.
Which was more than the $50 bonus that we have been receiving for many years. So we just kind of get that for council to discuss it. You didn't want to bring a number or.
Oh, okay. So council, do you feel holiday bonus for staff? Yes. Is there a amount,
Well, I don't get a bonus from my boss, so I'm looking forward to that. We won't ask Wayne, because this is way. Hey,
Who would wanna know about what I got this year? Cause it was high.
We don't wanna know.
It surprised me.
Okay,
So
so
are we thinking of aligning ourselves with last year or?
I would see why not. I mean, it's been at the minimum threshold of 50 for starting to concern as well.
So I think $75.
I would actually.
Yes. 7,500? Not 7,500, $75 already.
Actually doing some research on something else, we came across some old bylaws, so back before amalgamation, Brunel Lindog gave $75 for a Christmas bonus, where the 90s didn't give a bonus, so when amalgamation came, they, I guess, settled on 50.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Raglan never did a bonus?
It's interesting.
Well, history,
I think we better get them.
You wanna give 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have personally.
No, I have no problem with that. What about you, Iris?
I'm more, I
Hey?
have no problem.
Yeah,
No,
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
No,
$100 nowadays. is-
Yeah, no, isn't, yeah, nothing, really.
Fortunately, I've been.
You pay that for roasted meat.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you can buy a turkey.
Yeah.
Try to go to the grocery store, $100 and get much.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's like a big stand this year.
Hey.
Spam this year. Well, that's, I'd be all, yeah, that's good, if everyone else is okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We do the resolution over here, okay? So we have a resolution in regards to the discussions. The council of the corporation country for Dublin, Knocker, hereby. The clerk treasurer to issue personal loans to staff and all $100 each. Do I have a move on? Councilor Qual, second, Councilor Banks. If we've had our discussion, all in favor? And that is carried.
Thank you.
Okay, item 11.2, the resolution says that the council for the corporation of Council of Dublin, Knocker, hereby approve the draft survey as presented by for the shoreline or wells purchased by Allen and Maynard Management. I need a mover on that, Councilor Banks, that's Councilor Dodd. Any questions from council on the issue? No, it's just the normal process. So
Yeah, yes.
I'll call for the vote then, all in favor, and that is carried. 2006 municipal quote, that we, the council for the corporation of Country of Brunel and Knocker, hereby direct the clerk treasurer to renew the municipal insurance for 2026 and to accept the 3-year long-term agreement at the discounted rate. Need a mover on that? Councilor Raphael, second, Councilor Banks. Any questions or information from staff? No.
So actually, 2026, quote for the insurance is, a reduced premium renewal by 1.34%. And by doing it for the 3-year term, they're locking in the flat rate. So it will be.
So this year's we go with 3 years?
Yeah, normally we do it just for 1 year.
Yeah, no, but you they're locking it in.
Yeah, that amendment.
Yeah, that's nice.
There are other variables to our insurance, but the flat rate will not change.
Yeah, no, that's yours. See, we need insurance no matter what, so.
No,
it helps with the one piece of it, right?
Yeah. Any other questions from council? No. I'll call for the vote, then all in favor? Yes. And that is carried. So down to financial reports, that we, the council for the corporation of the council of Dublin, Knocker, accept the year-to-date budget variance and monthly expenses summaries presented. Need a mover on that, Councilor Guffaut, Councilor Banks, seconds. Any questions? Monthly summary of the year to date. I think we're trending overall fairly well.
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah.
To budget, good.
Yeah.
Soon time to start it all again.
Yeah.
Hey?
I've started all of them.
So yeah.
Yes.
Then you haven't heard the rumblings about OP periods?
No, you had received in September saying that the costing would be in November, and I heard received any.
So I actually attended my first police services board meeting. And the attachment commander. Probably, I guarantee at least a double digit. It's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard it under
10.
That's crazy.
or more. Yeah,
So that's what I,
yeah, that's what I heard too.
so I guess we'll see.
Around 13.
Yeah, so last year, we were fortunate that the government stepped up the plate. I think they increased their own gift somewhat. to help offset our
Right.
increase. So hopefully it's something
You'll do the same.
do the same. And I mean, there's a lot of growing from a lot of municipalities.
It stresses,
It's stressed
everything. People are worried about the increase.
Yeah.
But not paid for it.
Don't pay for it, exactly. So it's time to tell.
Well, and we did budget for, we did put money into the reserves.
True.
For,
Yes.
and yes, our own, I think is about $1,000 for.
Yeah, we'll see what they, eventually they're gonna give you a number pretty soon. So
Yeah.
everyone's starting to plan, they're starting to think about budgeting.
Yes. Yeah. Any other questions on the financials?
No, let's do.
All in favor? Well, that was carried. Now to bylaws. The lead council for the corporation of the township of Riverdale, Lynn, and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2025-46. Being a bylaw to adopt an emergency management program and emergency response plan. And to meet other requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act having been read the first, second, and third time and trying to pass. Can I get a mover on that? So Council and Councilor Banks, the second. Does council have any questions in regard to the bylaw? Okay, call for the vote then, all in favor? Yes, and that is carried. So that ends the open session of our meeting. Now, after going to close. The resolution says that we, the council of the Operation Township of Riverdale, Lyndoch, and Raglan, went to closed session pursuant to Municipal Act 2001, Section 2392, for the purpose of Section E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, and two items under subsection B, personal matters about an identifiable individual. Can I get a move on that? Councilor Quad, second one, Councilor Banks, all in favor?
Yes.
And that is carried.
There we go.
So council comes out of closed session at 8:29 PM. Any mover on that? Councilor Quan, Councilor Banks. All those in favor, and that is carried. So during close, the council received information with regard to legal and discussed two matters about identifiable individuals. Confirmation by law that lead the council for the corporation of the township of Riverdale and Raglan, hereby adopts bylaw 2025-47, being a bylaw from proceedings of December 3rd, 2025. Regular meeting of council, I've been read a first, second, then a third time, and finally passed. Any movement on that? Councilor Bob, Councilor Calhoun on second. I'll call for any questions on that. We'll call for the vote. All in favor? That's carried. And the last resolution says that this meeting adjourns at 8:30 PM. Any movement on that? Councilor Banks, seconder. Councilor Kaufman, all in favor?
Yep.
That's carried and meeting is adjourned.